Hey folks, welcome to an all new So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Wednesday episode. You have made it halfway through the week, so you have done something with your week. I am so proud of you. Listen, I am only speaking to the people who obviously did not get raptured yesterday. So I'm sorry if you're missing any loved ones. Sorry, I feel so bad for the Rapture TikTok people. I've been talking about it the last 2 days, if you've been listening. And I'm still on Rapture TikTok, and it's really sad because I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and a lot of them are going to be really sad that the rapture didn't happen. And then I almost feel bad for those people. But at the same time, I know that they're going to be like, okay, well, actually, I did the calculation wrong, and it's going to be next year. But I don't know, you guys. How are you? Are you okay? Anyway, you made it halfway through the week. That's the whole point. So today it's just me and you. I like these. I'm trying to do more solo episodes that are not recaps so we can catch up on a lot of pop culture stories. And I actually sat through a full 2-hour episode of Dancing with the Stars on ABC. Yeah, I did it. I sat through the second episode. I didn't think I was, you know what? Let me try this. I've watched Dancing with the Stars here and there, not religiously or every week. But I was like, let's see what's going on here. So I will give you my full review for all you Dancing with the Stars fans out there. And if you're not, I think it'll still be enjoyable. My overarching thought the entire time was like, God, all these people with working knees. How that's amazing. They're all moving there. Even Andy Richter. I was like, I don't even know if I can move as good as Andy Richter. Do you ever do that? Do you watch Dancing with the Stars or any sort of physical activity on TV and just be like, God, I couldn't even, wow, how is this happening? I would be the guy on Dancing with the Stars that would immediately throw out my knee. It would be like, oh, dude, you guys, the first time I tore my ACL was on stage, Arizona State University, where I went to college. I was part of a sketch comedy group with a lot of great people. I mean, I was in sketch comedy group at ASU, and then we went and lived our lives, and we were in LA, and we had this sketch comedy group all together, a lot of people from ASU, and we were performing in Los Angeles, and ASU was having a comedy festival, and they invited us back, and we were like, oh, wow, got a big primetime spot at ASU. And we were doing a performance, and I was playing a baseball player on steroids, I believe. And so it was really energetic, which is usually something I'm pretty decent at. So it was like, whoa, oh, and I was like jumping up and down and jumping up and down. I never had a knee issue in my life. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I just fell down. Like it was like something popped and I just fell. And I was like, what the hell happened? I had no idea what had happened, because I had never had a knee problem before. And then I tried to stand up and I immediately fell back down. And I then had to lean on somebody, realizing, oh, my leg is not working any longer. And I was trying to put that together in my mind, and there was a live show going on. And, my sketch was done, but we had a whole show. And I went backstage and I was like, I don't know what happened. My leg doesn't work anymore. My leg doesn't work anymore. And, it turned out I tore my ACL in front of a live audience, and they had to. So the ASU campus there at the time, I don't know if this has changed. There was I forgot what theater we were in, but there was not a direct path with a car. So they had to put me on top of one of these garbage trucks, like these little mini garbage trucks that they had on campus. And my parents had come in for it. And I remember Kat Reitman, who's a great actress, and she did that show Working Moms. It'd been in a lot of things. Her dad was Ivan Reitman, the amazing director, rest in peace, who did Ghostbusters and just Animal House, just an amazing career. He was in the audience too. And I just remember thinking, oh man, I blew it in front of Ivan Reitman. I mean, the show still went on. And that was the beginning of my knee problems. And I've messed with my knee a lot during the years. I shouldn't even be talking about it right now because I've had a good run on my knee. It's been a minute. The last time I really jacked my knee, you guys, was at the Watch What Crappens Crappy Awards a couple of years ago. It was at the Wiltern Theater, and it was super rainy. If you guys live in Los Angeles and you went to that show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I had to go early, and they had me do the pre-show. And I was really excited to be there, really sweaty already on top of the rain. And I remember there was somebody from below deck that came over to say hi. And I saw him and he was asking to get backstage. And I was like, yeah, I'll take you to go say hi to Ronnie and Ben. And I was going down these steps and I just stepped down weird and my knee gave out again. And that was the last time. And when I throw out my knee, that wasn't like an ACL tear, but I threw it out again. And that, like, it always takes like a month and a half why did I start the show like this? This was not on the agenda. Anyways, guys, the whole point is it's really hard to move your body. Take care of your body. By the way, all the parents out there, tell your kids that Ryan Bailey, the crazy guy that your parents listen to, says, take care of your knees, brush your teeth, try to sleep, drink water, and that's it. That's all that I want to tell your kids. And now I'm having my own kid, and I'm sitting here going, fudge. Like every day now, thinking about having a baby, I'm sitting here thinking about in all of my years of life what I have learned. And I'm like, okay, brush the teeth, take care of the body. Like I'm trying to think of wisdom to impart to my future child. And then I was trying to think of it in terms of like housewives. What lessons can be learned from housewives and Vanderpump Rules? You know, because also I'm not a very confident person, but I want to instill confidence in my child. How do you do that if you're not a confident person? How do you do that? And also I'm so, I will make fun of myself a lot. I'm very self-deprecating. And I don't want to do that around my child because I think that's a bad precedent. So how do I break myself of that habit in the next 5 months? How do I do, like, guys, I am totally lost. I want you guys talking to me. I need all the help in the world. Anywho, you're in good hands today, for this show. This is going to be fun. I think we'll probably just talk about more of my body parts. Today was a wild day, you guys. On Friday, I will be appearing on the new episode of Shenanigans with Sheena Shea and Kiki Monique from Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm not allowed to disseminate the information that was discussed on the podcast today, but I will say a lot of information was revealed about a lot of things that we've been talking about on this show. So I think it is an episode to tune into or to watch. I'm still kind of processing all that was talked about, but I think it's a very interesting episode. But we did talk about the Rapture. She actually brought up the Rapture, and I just thought in that moment, wouldn't it be insane if the Rapture did happen and I got raptured with Sheena and Kiki Monique? Or we find out together that we're not raptured and then I'm there with Kiki Monique and Sheena. Like, wouldn't that be bizarre? Because part of me would be like, oh, it's a bummer that I'm not raptured. But part of me would be like, oh, LOL, how funny that I'm here with Sheena Shea. Like, isn't that insane? But we were not no rapture happened. So yeah, that's going to be out on Friday. Also, I talked about this a couple times in the last week. Raiders of the Lost podcast. It's a movie podcast. It's really excellent. It's very positive, but also you learn a lot about movies, and it's hosted by these two brothers who are very passionate about films. And you can go follow them on Instagram. They've made a couple clips of the podcast that just came out today. We just talk about Paul Thomas Anderson, the film director, and Boogie Nights. And they're film directors, and they're film directors and editors themselves. And so, man, their clips are like, they're doing like push-in edits and all of this craziness. But it's so refreshing to go on a podcast and not talk about reality television. Not that in any way I'm ashamed or bored of it, but it's so nice to celebrate something that you deeply love. And Boogie Nights is one of those things, in Paul Thomas Anderson, but just film in general. I'm on a couple film podcasts coming up, and it's always just such a nice change of pace for me. And just like you guys, like we talk about just a variety of things on this show, but it's really nice to go somewhere else. Because it's like, yeah, we like all sorts of things. We're not just locked into Hey, I watched a dancing reality competition series tonight. That's called growth, you guys. Yeah. So, those are some things that I've been involved in. So go check that out if you're bored or if you need a little enjoyment or a smile on your face. Okay, and Jimmy Kimmel returned tonight after a 5-day hiatus. But he's not on all the stations. Sinclair Media and I forgot the other company are choosing not to air him yet. So we'll see how that pans out. This isn't a story about Jimmy Kimmel. This is a story about Disney Plus, which has Hulu and ABC and all of that stuff. Now, this is like, what are you thinking? Disney Plus, so many people canceled their subscriptions over this last week. And they just announced today that they are raising their prices next month. If you have the Disney Plus with ad service, they're raising from $9.99 to $11.99. And if you have the Disney Plus Premium without ads, it's going up from $15.99 to $18.99. And even Hulu itself without Disney Plus is $9.99 to $11.99. And I just think in this time right now, if you have people coming back into the fold, canceling, coming back into the fold, and then you're like, we're going to raise prices, that's insane to me. Like, maybe hold off 6 months and find out what shows are going to be on your platform. I mean, that is just, I don't know, what is that, corporate greed? What is that? But I just thought, oh my God, what a bad time to announce, hey, by the way, we're raising our prices $2 to $3 for everybody. I really would love to know the thought process behind that. Like, how many streaming services are there now? We got HBO Max. We've got Paramount Plus. We've got Hulu, which is paired with Disney Plus. We've got Peacock, and all of these, they keep raising their prices. And I just think that is insane. It just makes you want to go back to just like, remember, let's go back to cable television. Let's just the streaming services are great, but there's always things that you can't find, or you don't have the streaming service where it actually plays. And then you wind up on some weird foreign like website and you're trying to stream something for free. It is just a mess. We need to make this more linear and more easy for people to find these shows that they want us to watch. And there are so many good shows out there right now. We're going to talk about a couple in this next hour about what to watch coming up on fall television. I mean, I always talk about this, and it's like this with this wistfulness, is that, I don't know if you were like me, Entertainment Weekly used to be this magazine that a lot of us that loved pop culture would get every week. And then they would have the fall movie preview and the fall TV preview. And then they'd have like the winter movie preview. And these were like double issues. And to me, they were like a little piece of gold because you got to see everything that was coming out and what got you excited in film and TV and music. And Entertainment Weekly still exists. It's mainly online now. It's very confusing. It's a little like Us Weekly. And they've moved to a more digital format. But I just thought there was something so amazing about having this thing that told you everything. And now, is there a place that tells us everything? I mean, I try to keep up on everything and I find myself, slipping so much. Or you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that was out. Holy crap, over there. And what's so fun, you guys? And I noticed it's, when I did a whole like segment on the Charlie Sheen documentary the day after it came out, because I was aware of that. I was like, oh, I read something and I marked it down and I watched it. I loved it. I talked to you guys about it the next night and it's great. Like 2 weeks later, people are starting to discover it. Do you notice that? The Unknown Caller, the Netflix documentary as well. It's interesting to see how pop culture moves now. How word of mouth gets passed around. And I'm not talking about me recommending things. I'm talking about, have you noticed that? Something will come out and then it seems to be, if it really has legs, it'll reach mass consumption like 2 weeks in. And then you'll have shows like The Hunting Wives that really, it's good immediately, right? But then 3 weeks in, it really pops off. Or even Kaya from Bravo, We're Black, who was on yesterday's episode. That was such a fun episode. I hope you guys liked it. She was talking about K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix, which I still haven't seen, and I don't know if I'm going to. She recommended Love Thy Nader, the Hulu reality series about Brooke Nader and her sisters, and K-pop Demon Hunters. And I think I'm going to try Love Thy Nader before K-pop Demon Hunters. But that is something that has had legs now for months and months. And you really don't see a lot of things that last for a very long period of time anymore. And I think it's interesting. You also see that a lot with Bravo, right? I used to say we have 4 seasons. We had Real Housewives of New York season, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season, Vanderpump Rules season, and Summer House season. Those are like how I judge seasons. They'd all be on at different parts of the year, and you could usually set a clock. And now it's not like that anymore because it's just everything's everywhere. I was watching the first episode of the new season of Seeking Sister Wife or Sister Wives on TLC. Man, that is a mess of a show. DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over $400 million has already been awarded. So new players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff over 10 days. Download the app, use code SOBAD, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for featured game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I mean, it makes Sister Wives look like it's a puritanical show. I mean, this is just hot garbage, and I mean that as a compliment. You can stream it on HBO Max, but it airs on TLC. It is just, it's wild. Then you throw TLC into it. I've had to give up on even, I couldn't tell you which 90-day franchise is on right now. And you have to pick your battles in life, right? In real life and also your pop culture life. You have to pick your battles because it is all consuming. They want all of it. TLC and Bravo, they want you to pick TLC and they want you to pick Bravo, and neither shall mix. Like if they were really smart and if they could figure out the contracts, they'd fucking do a merge series where you had like Angela and Michael from 90 Day Fiancé, which, horrible. And you like mix them with Craig Conover and Austin, like just throw just battle of the network stars and just make them compete in some kind of weird game. But it's hard, right? And by the way, I don't cover really TLC shows, even though I do try to watch here and there. But I know so many great podcasts that do like Reality Gaze and Little Miss Recap and Pink Shade. And so they, go check those out if that's your jam. But it would be impossible. It would be impossible. And it kills me, because man, but it even now kills me to actually try to keep up with those shows. It's impossible. It's impossible. And you don't want to get it to the point. I was thinking about this today because I was like, oh, if I could just watch, I listen to my podcasts at this is really, you're going to free. I listen to my podcasts and my audiobooks at 2.0 and I'm pretty good at that. Like I think pick up the majority of everything I'm hearing very quickly. And on certain apps, if you're streaming, you can speed up. I know on the Netflix app online, you can speed up the viewing of that show, but it almost is sacrilegious in a way because then you are not watching it the way the directors and the producers wanted you to see it. You're not getting the actual pacing of this. And today, though, I was like, if I could just watch these TV shows at 1.5 or 2.0 speed, I could cover a lot more things. And then I had to have this stern talking to with myself where I was like, Ryan, what the fuck are you this is supposed to be enjoyable. You're not supposed to want to rush through. I mean, actually, I was watching Dance with the Stars and I was like, I think I could get this at 1.5. I think I could handle this at a 1.5. I like Dancing with the Stars, but I was just like, a lot of filler. I could do this at 1.5 or Love Island. I could do that at 1.5. I think I could easily do that at a 1.5 speed. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And, I just think that's so, it's like, no, they're there for our enjoyment, not to just try to get through. And I have to remind, by the way, now that I'm thinking about, I got to write that down. I got to teach that to my daughter, is we want to enjoy things at the normal speed. How do we make that a human lesson that's not revolving around TV? Oh, okay. How about this? I tell my daughter, be in the moment. When you're talking to somebody, really be there with that person. Does that sound like a parent lesson? Okay, we should vote on this. By the way, there's a live Patreon today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They're usually small but mighty. So if you're a Patreon member, come join us. It's an hour of you guys in the chat, me talking to you about whatever, for the hour. They're always a lot of fun. And even if you can't make it, you can watch it. You'll have the link to watch it at another time. So patreon.com/so bad it's good. And I also started recapping that first season of RHONY, which is really, really fun. So now I'm just thinking about lessons for my daughter. We need to come up with some sort of Excel document that you guys can give me tips, which, by the way, well, I can't. We'll listen to Shenanigans on Friday. Okay, in music news, I did a whole segment on Coachella 2025, headlined by Justin Bieber and Karol G and Sabrina Carpenter, and a lot of great undercard acts. Well, tickets went on sale this past Friday, and as of yesterday, both weekends sold out. And that's huge news for Coachella, because last year's second weekend of the festival did not sell out. And this sold out within a couple of days. So that is really good for Coachella. It's really good. It seems like a lot of interest in all of those acts. I think it's really healthy for the music industry and for festivals. So we'll see if anybody can afford any other festivals for the rest of the year. Now, if you didn't get tickets, don't worry. It's usually a pretty healthy market on secondhand sites like StubHub. And a little tip, if you're looking to go, usually a couple days before Coachella, the prices go down, and especially the second weekend. I found that the second weekend, as I got older and was going every year, was actually more fun and less influencery. That first weekend, it's really to be seen, to see and be seen. It's really kind of a scene, which, that's really not the music. It was really about kind of pop-ups and branding out in the desert and all the parties, which is great. But if you're a music lover, that second weekend, that I found to be just a lot more chill and a lot more music focused. So Coachella 2025 already sold out. Now, we've been talking the last couple of weeks about Real Housewives of Orange County. Not the show itself, you guys. It's everything that goes on behind the scenes. Because I always look at it when the housewives have finished filming, the show's airing, they are campaigning for the next season. And the next season of Real Housewives of Orange County is season 20. It is big 2-0. So there's a lot of things, a lot of ideas out there. I know Jeff and Shane from the Jeff Lewis Show, they want an all-star season, which we've kind of been saying something of the sort here for the last year. And I do agree with it. I think that's an obvious, a tip of the hat to the last 19 seasons and all the history it has. And they're not going to, Alex Baskin and his team at 32 Flavors, they're not just going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do a rebuilding season and, throw all those OGs out. No. The 20th season, it's locked in, but now they're campaigning for which spots. Who's going to be where? Is Vicky Gunvalson going to come back? Is Shannon Bedore going to come back? Is Tamra going to come back? And so it feels like a lot of these ladies, and I would have to imagine they're cognizant of this, it feels like they're doing a full court press in the press to try to sell their case. Like Tamra went on Jeff's and was like, I want Vicky back, but I don't know about Shannon. I don't think Shannon, and I want Katie, and I want Jesus Jugs. I want Alexis Bellino. And then Vicky was on Jeff on Monday with Christian Gray Snow, her podcast host. I love Christian. And it was great to hear him on there. And they were talking about it towards the end of the episode. And Vicky was saying, I've called Shannon a couple times, but she doesn't really return my calls. And, I love me some Shanners. I love Shannon, but Shannon's got to get her head in the game, because we got people that want her out of this show. And one of those people is Tamra because, we saw in this past week's episode, if you do not accept Tamra's apology, she'll give you like a 12-hour grace period and then she's gunning for you. And Tamra seems to make it very known in the press that she does not want Shannon there. And Shannon, I know it's annoying. I know it is a lot mentally, but you got to get your head in the game. If Vicky calls you, you got to pick up. You just got to. You got to play the game because I just saw that they are doing Vicky and Christian's podcast and they had Lynn Curtin on, which is I love Lynn Curtin. I remember with the bracelets and her daughters. I mean, Lynn Curtin, blast from the past, but then they did an episode with Alexis Bellino. And that was a bridge too far for me. For shame, Vicky, for shame. That is hurtful. It is vengeful. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And Alexis has been, I think, co-hosting Carlos King's podcast doing OC recaps. And I think some people really enjoy those. And I love Carlos. But Alexis, it feels like, even though I don't know if she will admit this, is also trying to get back on this show. I am imploring Alex Baskin and 32 Flavors to not do that. I am imploring. But right now, if you think of OC off-season as a campaign, don't want to get political, but if you think about it as a campaign, I feel like Tamra's winning right now. And it doesn't have to be like this, but Shannon, if you just lay down, you are going to make the decision a lot easier for the production. You're going to make it a lot easier. You need to get your head in the game, right? Unless you want to save your mental health. And then if that's the reason, I totally respect that, but you deserve to be there on the 20th season. And I'm sorry, Alexis, you found your love of your life, Johnny J, and I feel like that should suffice. But Tamra, it's like she's collecting Horcruxes to bring back on the show. And I don't think Tamra should have this much of a hand in casting because I think Tamra's spot is secure. I mean, it would be funny if all of a sudden Tamra wasn't asked back, but I think that is not going to happen. I think she is a definite, even if you don't like her. She's a definite, and she's pulling for Vicky to come back. And I think Vicky, in a friend of capacity, would be great. I don't even know if she would be willing to do a full-time cast member. I think, a friend of. But if you pull back Alexis, if you bring back Alexis and you don't have Shannon on there, I think that is a damn shame. Now, Shannon did get in the game a little bit in the fact that I seen her liking some Katie Janela posts because Katie, in this offseason, has also done a full court press. She wants to come back. And I really think it's going to, the final determination for me, I think it's going to see how that reunion plays. They haven't filmed the reunion yet, but I think that is going to determine, but right now, out of sight, out of mind is almost better for Katie. It really builds her up in the audience's eyes because they did a whole bunch of episodes about her and now she's disappeared. And if somebody disappeared and the audience is almost like, oh, she got bullied a little bit, then it makes her look like this underground folk hero. You're like, oh, no, that's not fair. And so I'm really curious what the decision on Katie is going to be. But they're going to bring these old people back. And I think Alexis had her shot. And so I don't think she deserves another one. But also, it doesn't matter because she got true love out of it. Right? She's about to get married. And when is the marriage? Because I keep seeing these pre-wedding parties. So it's got to be soon, right? Or are they putting it on pause to determine if she's going to be on the show next season? But I don't know. I was like, if I was Shannon, I would see, because I saw this on Instagram, I would see that and I would be hurt. I would be hurt if all of a sudden Vicky, one of my Trace Amigas, had Alexis Bellino on. And, I'll be interested to, I usually don't listen to a lot of reality show podcasts, but I'll be interested to read the discourse and what was said. And I'm sure you guys will listen to that if you're into it. But it's just one of those things we talk about all the time. I notice this, and it really is just like being a housewife. I mean, living as a human being at this point is exhausting, but being a housewife, or even talking to Sheena today, you just you realize the exhaustion level that goes with being on Bravo or reality TV series for more than a season. Because it's not just filming of the show. Then it's like the marketing of the show and doing the interviews and saying something controversial so it'll get talked about on podcasts, and you can get into fights with your castmates in the press and kind of get that excitement, keeping it going, which is so funny. Alex Baskin, the producer of pretty much every Bravo show known to man right now, I saw him on Sunday nights at the Lilith Fair documentary premiere. I talked about that the documentary on Monday. You can find that on Hulu. I really recommend it. I just think it was a really beautifully done documentary, and I learned a lot. And it is funny, like you talk to the younger generation, they didn't know what the fuck Lilith Fair was. They're like, huh? And I'm like, oh my God, Lilith Fair. I was like, that was a pop culture moment. But Alex Baskin was at this premiere, and I didn't get to say hi to him. So I waved, and then we DM'd the next day, and I was just like, oh, great to see you. How you doing, man? But I was trying to be like nice. I didn't want to be like, how's OC? You going to bring Tamara back? What's going on in the Valley? What's going on? Hey, Lala full time? What's going on? So I just had to be like, hey, great to see you. But, the 75% of me wanted to just like go in, and I just realized that's not how you interact with professionals. So hopefully we'll get some information at it. I said we'll see each other at BravoCon, and I think at BravoCon is an appropriate time to press an executive producer about all the information you can pump out of them as possible. Who do you guys want to see back? Are you done with Shannon? Are you done with Tamara? What OGs do you want to come back? Because there's going to be OGs. But Tamara has this line. Like I said, it's Alexis Bellino. She's bringing Joe De La Rosa. And I like Joe. She's bringing Joe De La Rosa to a lot of things. So who's going to be dynamic? But you don't want to have Tamara making casting decisions because you want some sort of reality, and you don't want to have Tamara's troopers. And if you've been listening to my OC recaps, you will hear that I've really given Tamara a lot of praise because I think she's indestructible. I always the tenacity of a cockroach. And I mean that as a compliment. But you can't have somebody with their team around them, because Tamara will be able to pull out at any point, I got you back on this show. I started hanging out with you. And that is too much power. And she already has so much power. And if she's going to treat this show like a reality competition series, we need to institute some laws. We need to put some rules in place. So those are my thoughts on OC. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, moving on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We got a little intel this week from Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna, Harry's Bolognese. For new listeners, I do Lisa Rinna as a demon voice or a troll voice. I don't know what kind of voice that is, but she has a podcast with Harry Hamlin. And I was watching a clip on one of my favorite accounts. I think it was Bywig Hello Drama. I also love Bravo Snarkside. Love a lot of those Instagram accounts that give you information. But I was watching this clip they put up, and it was talking about Lisa Rinna telling Harry that she had been invited to this year's BravoCon. And why would they invite me? I'm not even on this show. Well, Lisa, they invited you because you were a part of Housewives history, and they invite a lot of Bravo celebrities that are not on Bravo shows currently. Vicky Gunvalson will be there. I'm trying to think of other examples, but there are a lot of examples. And so it's a sign of respect. And we do know that Lisa Rinna is going to be on the upcoming season of The Traitors on Peacock that will premiere in January. Peacock, NBC Universal, blah, blah, blah. She took over for Nene when Nene Leakes couldn't fill that spot. And so, which by the way, the podcast, the clip, it was just like watching molasses. It was like slow. And she's like, why would they invite me? And then she told him no. She said it felt good to tell them no. Girl. You have a straight man going, girl. That's how upset girl, are you? You should have thanked your lucky stars they invited you, and you should not have turned that down. It was a huge mistake. Do not let your ego get in the way. That's another good thing for my daughter. Don't let your ego get in the way. That's a good one. I got to remember. Don't let your ego get in the way. You feel slighted. Don't forget about it. And even Harry pointed out, because she brought up that one BravoCon in New York a couple years ago where she was booed by the audience because Lisa Rinna was having a horrible season. And Harry Hamlin said, you should be proud of that. It's like a pro wrestler. We always talk about that, how Housewives sometimes at its core has turned into WWE wrestling. big characters, right? Hero, villain, and they swap every season. You don't know. And Lisa got a little too big for her britches. She needed to be taken down a notch. And yeah, that probably was shocking for her because she said in the interview, she was like, you know what Erica said? Erica, right before we went out at BravoCon, said, you might get booed. And I hadn't even thought about that before. And I was. She really knew the motion of the ocean. And I'm like, yeah, like I could have told you were going to get booed that year. And it just shows like how are you not connected to this earth that you really thought you were going to be applauded? It really goes on how good or bad of a season. It's like you're our wrestlers, man. We're going to cheer for the ones we like and we're going to boo the ones that we think are bad that season. And I will say the core of that doesn't mean you are universally hated in the way that like hate, like when you really hate somebody and it's bad for you, but you hate them for a real reason, like they did something to your life. This isn't that kind of hate. It's the kind of hate like you can crawl yourself back out of. Like we've seen that on reality shows where people have all of a sudden, you're like, I really like that person this season. I'm shocked. For me with Rinna, I always say, loved her at the beginning, hated her by the end. But I also was cognizant enough to go, oh, I bet I'll like her on the Traders. Or she might just annoy the piss out of me. But, she was telling Harry this and he was trying to say, no, you should be proud of that. So she said no to that. And she was excited that she said no. Way to go. And then she also said she had went to Kyle's daughter's wedding, Alexia's wedding, right? A couple weeks ago. Remember we talked about that on the show. And I was questioning, did they film it for Beverly Hills? And I thought, no, I think they might have wrapped earlier that week and they weren't going to film it. Or maybe we'll just see some like B-roll footage, but not really any scenes. And Lisa was invited to this wedding and she was like, good, I love Kyle's daughter, so I'm going to go. And then she got a text from one of the producers saying, would you be open to filming? Which happens a lot, right? It happens a lot on these shows. Like, last season we had Camille Grammer over at Kyle's party. And that's where, remember, Dorit was like, fuck you, Camille Grammer. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. So it happens. But Rinna was like, I told him no. I'll go to the wedding, but I'm not going to film. So they're going to have to blur my face. Yeah, okay, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I think it's, it's good to play nice. And also if you have real relationships with these people. But I that aside, I was just interested to find out that they did have cameras at that wedding. And we will see it in some capacity on this next season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But did that annoy you like it annoyed me? Like for some reason that just bothered me. I'm like, if they reach out their hand, and this is done, Housewives, you cannot argue, has done so much for Lisa Rinna's career. Yes, she had a career before that, but you guys know what it was not the career that she has had because of Housewives. That put her on the map in a whole different way. And I just thought like it just felt shitty. I don't know. What did you guys think of that clip? If you saw that, let me know about that as well. Got to write that down for my daughter. Let me know how Rinna clip. No, I'm not going to explain Rinna to her until she's like 5 years old. The LA Times did an article about 16 shows, TV shows that they're excited to watch for the fall. And some of these have already come out yet. One of those, Lilith Fair, building a mystery documentary. We just had the Black Rabbit, which started on Netflix this past Friday with Jason Bateman and Jude Law. That series just premiered, so I don't know if you guys are ensconced in that. But that's out there, and I hear that's decent. Now, on September 23rd, which I think is... wait, is that today? Wait, what is... Wait, no, today's the 23rd because today was supposed to be the Rapture. So there's a new FX show called The Lowdown with Ethan Hawke on FX. It stars him, Kyle MacLachlan, Tim Blake Nelson. So that is a dramatic series. And then September 24th, this week you have season 5 premiere of Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus with Gary Oldman. I have never watched an episode of this, but I have so many people in my life that truly love this series. So it's one of those I eventually have to check out. Now in October, HBO Max has, you remember the Stephen King horror novel, It? Oh, God, I love that book so much. And then they made it into a duo of films where now they are doing a TV series. It's called It, Welcome to Derry. Derry is the town in which that took place. And it takes place almost 40 years 40 years ago it was written. But this takes place in, it's a prequel set in the 1960s before the It films actually happened. Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise, the scary clown. He reprises his role as Pennywise. And I'm really excited to see this. They don't have an exact date, but it says it premieres in October. So I want to check that out. And this is one. I love documentaries, and obviously I love film. On Apple TV Plus, October 17th, we have Mr. Scorsese, and it is a documentary about Martin Scorsese, the iconic film director that did Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Gangs of New York, and most recently Killers of the Flower Moon. It's directed by Rebecca Miller, who is married to Daniel Day-Lewis, and Rebecca Miller is the daughter of playwright Arthur Miller of Death of a Salesman. What a pedigree. So, man, I am all over this. Martin Scorsese is 82 years old. I'm just telling you, if you have never seen this man talk, his love of film just permeates his entire existence. The way he talks about film so lovingly and so beautifully. And this was a kid that grew up, I think, in the Bronx. And it was just, he just blows my mind. He's 82 years old. He just announced his next film. It's going to be starring DiCaprio again. And DiCaprio just even said in an interview a couple weeks ago, he's like, I want to work with Scorsese as much as I can. So it's going to be with him and who is the actress? I'm blanking on her name. One sec. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is the actress. It's going to star him and Jennifer Lawrence. And that is probably going to be amazing because all of Scorsese's films are worth it. But he's 82 years old and he still has so much passion. I've seen the first couple episodes of this second season of this show on Netflix. It's called Nobody Wants This. And I love this show. And the first couple episodes of the second season that I've seen is awesome, funny, beautiful. I thought it was not going to be of the same quality as season 1, and it is. So that premieres on Netflix on October 23rd. So very excited about that as well. So speaking of film, let's move over to some of the most anticipated movies this fall, some things that'll probably up for Oscar nominations. We have One Battle After Another that premieres this Friday with DiCaprio, Paul Thomas Anderson film. October 3rd, we have a film called Anemone, and this is going to be kind of in the press a little bit because it's the return of actor Daniel Day-Lewis, who announced his retirement in 2017 after he was in Paul Thomas Anderson's film The Phantom Thread. And he said he was retired, but he is out of retirement for this film. And it's for a good reason, because Day-Lewis co-wrote this film with his son, Ronan Day-Lewis, who also directs. So he has to come out of retirement to do his son's movie. That's another note for my daughter. If my daughter ever directs, I have to come out of my being a shitty actor to be in her film. That's a great note as well. So you got to go see it just to see Daniel Day-Lewis, just a master of his craft. Now, October 3rd, we have a movie called The Smashing Machine. And this is starring The RHOC, man. Dwayne Johnson, not going by The RHOC at all. Dwayne Johnson, he's used to like these big budget, like Fast and Furious type films, but this is him really, really throwing himself into a performance. I don't know if you've seen the trailers. It looks really good. Already had its premiere at an overseas festival, got a huge standing ovation. And they're saying that he could potentially be up for a Best Actor nod. And this is directed by Benny Safdie from the Safdie brothers, who did the film Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. So that's a no-brainer. Definitely seeing that. Then on October 10th, from Italian director Luca Guadagnino. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's a brilliant director. His new film, After the Hunt, October 10th. He did the films Call Me By Your Name and most recently Challengers with Zendaya. And this stars Julia Roberts, Ayo Edebiri from The Bear, and Andrew Garfield. And this is supposed to be really, really good. So that's out there. That looks good. What else do we got? If you're a sci-fi nerd like myself, Tron Ares premieres October 10th. The Tron film franchise started, God, when did that start? 1982. And it starred Jeff Bridges. And now this one, Jeff Bridges is in, but also Jared Leto. I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan, but I'm a Tron fan. But also this is scored by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They have done so many amazing movie scores. I think one of their first ones was The Social Network back in the day. But you also know Trent Reznor from his work in the band Nine Inch Nails, or his band. So that's going to be exciting. October 17th, we have a film called Good Fortune, written and directed by Aziz Ansari, the comedian from Parks and Recreation. And this stars Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves. Looks really fun, funny. Hopefully that is good, but I'll check that out. What else do we got here? Oh, October 24th, you guys. You guys know I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. A film, a biopic of not his whole life, but a period of his life. It's called Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. And it's directed by Scott Cooper, and it stars Jeremy Allen White from The Bear as the boss, as Bruce Springsteen. And the movie is centered around the 1982 album Nebraska, which is right before the Born in the USA album, which, I mean, just he was already so well respected, but threw him into superstardom. And I hear Jeremy Allen White. Hear Jeremy Allen White gives an amazing performance, but Jeremy Strong, Kendall from Succession, is also in this. So I cannot wait to see this as well. What else do we got here? We got a movie on November 7th called Die My Love, directed by Lynn Ramsey, and it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. So that just sounds good. I love me some R-Pats. Sci-fi territory as well with Predator Badlands, November 7th. The Predator franchise, those big guys with the big dreads and they're aliens. That's how I describe Predator, you guys. Well, there's a new one, November 7th. What else here? Oh, November 14th in theaters. And then on Netflix, December 5th, we have a film called Jay Kelly. And it stars George Clooney and Adam Sandler. I'm hearing Adam Sandler is potentially going to be up for a Best Supporting Actor nod for this. And it is directed and written by... Noah Baumbach. Noah Baumbach, who also co-wrote the Barbie movie with his lady Greta Gerwig, and this is his film, and it's an all-star cast: Adam Sandler, Laura Dern, Billy Crudup, Riley Keough, Stacey Keough. I mean, just a great cast. So I'm down to see this. I like Netflix movies, but I want to try to push people more into theaters, myself included. And if I see November 14th in theaters and December 5th, I just know me. I'll just wait for December 5th. And we should be seeing this in theaters. November 14th, we have a sci-fi remake, The Running Man. I don't know if you guys remember the 90s version. Oh, no. Yeah, what was this? The 80s or 90s, Arnold Schwarzenegger did this film, The Running Man, based on a Stephen King short novella. But this one is directed by Edgar Wright, and it stars Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is everywhere now. In fact, I watched a couple episodes of the new Hulu show, Chad Powers, that should be coming out, I think, this weekend, and it's really fucking funny. Really funny. Check that out. November 21st, we have Wicked for Good. We have the second installment of Wicked. Maritza, who I work with, loves Wicked. So I'm sure she is so excited. That is November 21st. So that is some of the upcoming, that's not all of the movies, but it's just some things that stood out to me. So hopefully that gives you something in the back of your head. Oh, that might sound good. Let's move on to Dancing with the Stars. Okay, Dancing with the Stars. This is, let's let's go through this. This is a 2-hour episode, and the theme was one-hit wonders. That's the songs that they were dancing to. And you have your judges, Carrie Ann Inaba, who was absent last week because she was sick, and you have Derek How do you say that? Derek and his sister is like one of the hosts. Hugh How, I don't know how to say his name. And then the Tabarelli guy who's always like, I'm screaming! Ah! I could actually do that. I would be, oh, it's perfection! He's always just like, oh my God, the twists are so good! Oh, ah! Which is actually kind of entertaining. But listen, I was kind of surprised. I mean, like I said, I'm already impressed if people can move their bodies in any sort of way, even if it's just walking. But I was just kind of like, wow, I think everybody looks really good. So it like started off, and you had Alex Earl, who is like the world's biggest influencer, which feels kind of unfair in a sense because they're able to like get way more votes because so many more people know them and they can use their social media platforms to get people to vote. And in fact, they said that it was like wasn't it like the most votes in Dancing with the Stars history? And even tonight, they had more votes already during the show while it was airing than they did last week, which seems kind of insane. But she danced with her partner Val to Mambo number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody. God, I was such a kid. I love that song like a nerd. But Alex looked great. I mean, like, I was like, oh, she can actually, it's so weird because I don't really follow a lot of influencers. I don't follow her. I mean, I've seen obviously clips and stuff, but I was like, oh, you got talent. You were great. And she got, from the judges, 21 out of 30. So each judge has like a vote up to 10. And they seem to vote really strict because I was like, give her a 30. Wouldn't be a good judge on this. But she got 21 out of 30. And then the next one is Danielle Fishel from Boy Meets World. She danced, and she was dancing to Rhythm of the Night by Corona. And her story was insane because I guess last week training, she like pulled a hamstring, and then she said she got a deep tissue massage and it like broke all the blood vessels in her leg, and they showed her leg. And I was like, what the fuck? You shouldn't. She's like, I'm going to push through it. I was like, should you? Is it worth never being able to walk again, Danielle? My God. And I didn't really expect much from her, but I thought she danced the cha-cha. And I thought she was fucking awesome. And she like had such presence. That's what you forget, man. Some of these kid actors, not you, Corey Feldman, but some of these kid actors, they really can turn it on. And they have nerves of steel. The other thing I was watching is like when they're doing the votes, they have all of the people about to dance around like the hosts while the scores are coming out. And I'm just like, oh my God, just it was giving me heart palpitations just thinking about it. Like I would remember like before I would go on stage in theater, I would get super nervous, and then having to watch other people dance and just knowing, like I remember doing stand up a long time ago. And it was sometimes the worst when you would have to watch somebody crush right before you went on, and you'd be like, oh, fuck, you'd get so in your head. But man, she turned it on, and I thought she did amazing. She only got 19 out of 30, and she did not look, I mean, she had like a little slip up at the end, but she looked great, man. Like she really impressed me. I didn't really expect anything, and I loved it. Now, Andy Richter, on the other hand, Conan O'Brien's co-host, and just a fine comedian in his own right, obviously. He's that guy that you root for. Like, listen, even I would be the Andy Richter, not in the sense that I'm funny, but this is like how I move. But you kind of root for him. And he danced to It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. It's a raining man. Hallelujah. It's a raining man. Hey, hey. And you notice that the judges will judge the people that don't have a lot of dancing ability a little bit lighter because they're just trying to encourage you to keep going, or that's the vibe I got. And like Derek was like, you truly captured the essence of why this show was created. And I'm like, yeah, to get advertising dollars. But also I thought you need that kind of support, right? And he looked like relieved when it was done. And they also show like a little like package piece beforehand of the rehearsals for the week. And he just seems like an all around kind of nice, good guy. So this was a double elimination night. So I saw that. I was like, oh shit, he's going to go home, isn't he? Next, you had, Lauren. You had Lauren from what's the what girl group was she in? She was in the girl group with not she was in Destiny's Child. No, Lauren Jaraguay. I don't know how to say her last name. She was in Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony. And she was also great. I mean, she was very, very elegant in a sense. She danced to Love Fool by the Cardigans, like, love me, say that you love me. But she was really great, man. Like, I thought she was great. Her partner was this guy, Brandon. And Carrie Ann Inaba was like, you have a way of drawing people in. And, I love your partnership with Brandon. And Derek compared her to like a willow tree in a breeze, and called her an amazing dancer. She got 21 out of 30. I thought she was great as well. And that's when I was like, oh man, there's a lot of really great people in this. And then we had Olympian Jordan, who was partnered with Ezra, and she was like my favorite. Like at that point in the show, she danced to Maniac. I'm a maniac. And she had like this outfit with like little spangly things that kind of like shimmered when she would like twist. And it was so energetic, you guys. It was so good. And it was like, you could tell she had like that gymnastic fitness about her, like with floor routines, but it was so fast paced. Like it's like started like at the top. She was like on the top of the stairs, and she like leapt over her dancing partner and went into a somersault. Like, get the fuck out of here. If I was Andy Richter, I'd be like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And Bruno was like, you came back stronger than ever, Jordan. Oh. And it was great. She was my favorite. She got 22 out of 30. So she had tied with Alex Earl, but I thought that should have been like a 23, 24. What do I know, right? And then Corey Feldman. Corey. Oh, Corey. Oh, buddy. He did a cha-cha, and he did it to Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back, which, little creepy. And his partner, Jenna Johnson, encouraged him in the prepackaged thing to be open, because the cha-cha is intimidating. And you could already tell from their like practice rehearsals, the little that we saw, like he was just like, his feet weren't like, he was just tripping over his feet and stuff. And, they were gentle. Derek was like, oh, it was memorable, but the technicalities. And Bruno was like, unforgettable. I'm like, Bruno, it's it's unforgettable in a sense, but it was just like, oh, it was bad. It was not good. Now, the thing that then we had Jen Affleck from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, right? And remember, she just gave birth a couple of months ago. Insane. And she did the quick step. And she did it to a-ha's famous song, Take On Me. Take on me, take on me. And obviously her and Whitney, both on this show, but, got famous for doing a lot of dances in their TikToks. And I thought Jen Affleck was awesome. I thought she was so great. And she said the song meant a lot to her because it was the soundtrack to one of her most popular TikToks with her daughter or one of her children. And this was another one, like she kicked off this dance on a countertop, which was like a signature move in her viral TikToks, right? And I thought she was great, man. Like Carrie Ann Inaba kind of critiqued a little bit. Derek had some tips, and Bruno was like, "Your twinkle toes, ah!" But I thought she was great. I interviewed Jen Affleck with some of those Mormon wives for the second season of that show. And she was a little more quiet and buttoned up. I was because I don't know, for some reason, her story, I wanted to get into more of. And I told you guys this before, but I really sensed an inner sadness. Sometimes, like she has a great smile and she's always smiling and kind of laughing and stuff. But like sometimes with people, you're like, oh, there's like a sadness in there. And I could have just be completely reading into that. But I thought she did excellent. And I was really happy to see her do good. And then you guys, Robert Irwin, Steve Irwin's son, get out of town. Crikey. Holy shit, man. He, I guess, killed it last week. I didn't watch last week, But he danced the tango to Move Your Feet by Junior Senior, if you remember that song. He wasn't even born yet when that song came out in 2002. How dare you, Robert Irwin? But he says every year he lives, he feels closer to his dad. His dad, passed away. His dad, the crocodile hunter, passed away, I think, from a blowfish dart, right? Like, really a tragic, tragic death. But this guy seems like he has such an amazing energy about him. Bruno was like, you don't need to do gimmicks, Robert. You're a natural dancer, Robert. And he really is. I was just like, this guy is just, some people just have it, the way their body moves. And I thought he was just amazing. I can't wait to see, if I keep watching the show, I can't wait to see what he does next. Then you had, who did we have next? We had Elaine. We had Elaine Hendricks from like Parent Trap, been in a lot of things, and she's 54 years old, man, but she moves like a 30-year-old. She was also great. She danced to "Hey Mickey," "Hey Mickey" by Tony Basil from the 80s, and Tony Basil actually came and watched one of their rehearsals. And she did like a full cheerleader themed performance. But this was another one that I was really impressed. I was like, damn, like she killed it. She got a 21 out of 30. Oh, sorry. Robert got a 22 out of 30 and Jen Affleck got a 22 out of 30. But I thought Elaine Hendricks was great as well. That's when I was just like, shouldn't some people be ridiculously bad besides Corey Feldman? And Andy Ricker, yeah, he was kind of bad, but you just kind of like him anyways. And then we had basketball star Baron Davis. Is it Baron Davis? And he danced to Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. Do you guys like that I sing every song poorly? I'm sure you do. He had him and his partner Britt, and we also got to meet his high school basketball coach who was there, who was like a father figure to him growing up. He did the samba. And I thought it was like smooth. I mean, there were some mistakes, obviously, but it was still kind of smooth. I kind of liked this dude. Carrie Ann pointed out one mistake, but said she wanted to see more of him. And, but Carrie Ann also said, "I'm sorry, I'm at a loss. That was not eloquent. I'm sorry." How dare you? Derek told Britt, the dancer, "Good job." Congratulated the basketball star. And Bruno, like one of the judges had to do a one-word critique. I guess they didn't have enough time. And he was like, smooth. But I liked Bear. I thought I was like, I could see it. Now, Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Whitney Levitt, her partner, Mark Ballas. First off, she looks very different from the second season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Not my favorite character. Some could say she's a villain, but like we were just talking about Lisa Rinna, who knows? Third season, she might be a hero. This girl is amazing. You like her dancing. I'm like, oh, she could be one of the professional dancers on this show. She just seemed to be that good. But she also seems like that kind of person that sucks up all the oxygen in the room. Whereas like, I'm kind of rooting for Jen Affleck because, the inner sadness like myself. But Whitney just, the dancing was on point. She also got a 22 out of 30. Oh, sorry. Baron got an 18 out of 30. I mean, Whitney blew me away, right? They didn't play that funky music, the cha-cha. And she was just good, man. It was fast. It was furious. She nailed it. Her face, just big face, big moves. And she was really, really good. I mean, really good. Now we have Hilaria Baldwin. Now remember, English is her second language, so you got to forgive her for that. Alec Baldwin's wife, LOL. She called last week a dream come true. And she said it was exciting dancing in front of her kids and her husband. Now, Alec Baldwin was not there tonight. It seemed like all her kids were, though. Her partner is Gleb, and Gleb is the guy that Kaya was telling us yesterday was dating Brooke Nader on Love Thy Nader and got busted for having like threesomes or something like that. Anywho, they danced, and she's good, right? They danced to What Is Love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. And she said she was going to leave it all on the dance floor, and she did. Derek praised her, saying it was an amazing tango. Bruno said, a wonderful blend of power and elegance with a hint of fun. And it was great. She got a 21 out of 30. So that was really good. But I knew she had a dancing background a little bit. I've seen her, do the salsa. They taught her that in Boston. Next was Dylan Efron from The Traitors. Dylan partnered with Daniela. He did a samba to the Macarena. Hey, Macarena by Los Del Rio. And Dylan said he was really excited because that the first choreography he had ever learned. He said it choreography, and then Daniela corrected him, choreography. And he just seems like a really nice guy. He's kind of a little bit of I think a lot of people just have crushes on Dylan Efron after The Traitors. And he did really good. The one thing I will say, his hips move. I don't know enough about movement and dance, but it seemed like his hips are really good for dancing hips, if that makes sense. But his upper body's a little stiff. This is me. So, Dylan, you need to work on your upper body. Ryan Bailey told me I had to work on my upper, but his hips weirdly move. I was like, man, his hips are really all over the place in a very dancerly way. That's a word, dancerly. But it just felt like his upper body. He needs to work on that a little bit more. He got a 20 out of 30, but still really good. Then we had Scott from the band Pentatonics, and I've told you guys this before. It's an a cappella group. My mom fucking loved Pentatonics. Went and saw him at the Hollywood Bowl before she died, and she loved this dude. So Scott Hoying, he, I guess he had a little bit of a rough week last week. They danced to Blue, da ba dee ba da da ba da ba dee da ba. He danced the cha-cha. And he was good. Bruno was like, you got better with your timing and your consistency. And Carrie Ann wants him to take up more space, but he definitely, I guess, improved from last week. He got an 18 out of 30. But just for my mom, I want him to go far. So that was everybody. And then this is the spoiler, you guys. So for people that are going to watch it tonight, cut this next 2 minutes or just speed through it, because I'm going to tell you who are the two people that got sent home. The people that got sent home. Okay, I'm going to do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Corey Feldman went home, and Barron, Mr. Basketball, went home. And that was unfortunate because it was the bottom three that they put up there was Ilaria, Corey, and Barron. And Ilaria, I've seen what I need to see, but I know she really wants this. But Barron, I kind of wanted to see how he would improve next week. Corey, there was just no saving. We heard that rumor that he really wasn't even showing up for rehearsals. So I think that was fine. That was fine. So those are the two people that went home. And then I guess we have an all new episode next week. So that was my first foray into Dancing with the Stars, where I'm talking about it any length for you guys. Are you watching the show? Are you going to watch it? I'm sure should I just do dance recaps from here on out? Is that my thing? What if this is really late into 6 years on this show? I'm my real forte, I found in the 6th year of So Bad It's Good. And it's talking about dance and the movement of our bodies. Great. Good stuff. Also, you've probably noticed Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We are not doing a recap today. That'll be on Thursday, so I can dig in a little bit deeper. But Lisa Barlow is back with a vengeance, and we got one of my new favorite terms, gout dick sucker. You are a gout dick sucker. So come back on Thursday. We'll dive deep into that Salt Lake City episode because I got a lot of thoughts. I got some good thoughts and I got some bad thoughts. And there's a couple things I was livid with, and I can't wait to share that with you. So that will be on Thursday. Friday will be OC. And then there was a couple more things that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, that's it. So I told you that I got this book. They sent me Christine Brown Woolley's book, Christine Brown from Sister Wives. She just released a book a couple weeks ago. It's called Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom. And I'm I got a quarter left to go on this book. But I got to tell you, it's really good. Even if you don't watch Sister Wives, in fact, my favorite part of the book so far is kind of before the TLC cameras even picked up on the reality show and her marriage to Cody after he had already been married to Mary. Mary and Janelle at that point, and it was before Robin. She was the third wife, Christine, and it was all about like the first part about her growing up in the Mormon. Her Mormon sect was polygamous, and just talking about growing up in there. And I just thought it was so fascinating, because she didn't know anything more than that. That was her life, and it really just goes to show the people that we are raised by. It's like how those become our beliefs at first because you don't know a lot more about the world. And, she knew and she was taught from a very young age that this was illegal, that you couldn't really talk about your family or polygamy around just, everyday people. And then the marriage to Cody, it's heartbreaking talking about her wedding night. And, he didn't really have a lot planned for their honeymoon and like her first sexual experience with him where there was like no foreplay. But it's very honest book. And like the TLC stuff, like I'm deep in that and that's interesting. And her relationship with Sob and Robin, and her relationship with the other wives as well. And it's very interesting to see how they lived their lives and had to move from state to state. Like they had to move from Utah because they thought Cody was going to get arrested for polygamy. And it's really, really interesting. I can't wait to finish, but I told you guys I would I'll talk a little bit more once I finish this. It made me really want to talk to Christine. If anybody knows Christine out there, tell her that she's got to come on so bad. It's good. It's not like I'm saying, and I would talk to her. I just would really like to talk to her about the pre-TLC days because the Cody and stuff we've seen pretty well documented, even though there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But that early stuff is really blowing me away because of the relationship she is in now. She's married to a romantic love interest, which Cody was never really that, or she wanted it to be. And Cody didn't seem to feel the same, which is heartbreaking in a sense, right? But now she is living this life, a non-polygamous lifestyle. And life just throws so many loops and so many changes. And I was just thinking about that for me and for you guys. I was talking about this on Monday. It's like I didn't think that I would ever get the opportunity to potentially be a father. And, I kind of put that dream on that was well put away. And you just never know what life is going to throw at you or what you're capable of or what you're possible. What life, it has so many ups and downs. People have experienced just such horrible losses. And at the same time, the next year you'll see something so beautiful happen for somebody and their life will completely change. I interview so many people. And I'd be like, did you ever think this for your life? And usually 9 times out of 10, it'll be like, no, I never pictured this for my life at all. I never pictured this for my life. And I always find that really fascinating. We really can't predict. We can hope, we can dream, but we can never really predict where this life will take us. And I don't know. So I'm really, really digging this book. Have you guys read this? Let me know if you have and if you felt the same way. Like I said, I got about a quarter left of this, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I wasn't purposely trying to grow out my hair, but now it's past, my hair will grow, and then all of a sudden it'll just be like big hair, don't care. I truly have high body count hair right now. It is so, and do we have any hairstylists out there? I do not know. It is just, look what I'm doing this. It is just all over the place. I don't know how to style my hair when it gets this long. But Rebecca wants me to keep growing. Maybe she hates me. I don't know. It just, if you guys are seeing this, I don't know if you're listening to this on audio, you just know that I'm pulling my hair up and it's just flopping all over the place. It has look at this. Look what I'm doing with the hair. Wow. This is a sign to subscribe to our YouTube. So I need help with guys, I always ask you for help with everything. I need help raising my daughter and I need help figuring out what to do with my hair. But that is it for today, folks. Hopefully this was, put you in a little bit of a good mood. I tried to be high energy and, have the best Wednesday ever. Like I said, you're halfway through the week, man. Let's sail through these next 2 days and try to have as many laughs as possible and try to be as positive as possible because it's easy to be negative. I do it like 22 hours of the day. This is the 2 hours of the day where I'm positive. So have a great rest of your day. If you think about it, you like the show, give it 5 stars on Apple Pods and Spotify. And if you're a Patreon member, come join us tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll talk about everything, okay? Talk to you on Thursday. Bye.